The Wither's first victim. The sensation was a scream without sound, a dark, boundless agony that eclipsed all memory. Before the perpetual twilight, before the soul sand's insidious embrace, there had been sunlight. There had been the rough-hewn feel of stone beneath calloused fingers, the rhythmic clang of pickaxe against ore, the whisper of wind through oak leaves. He had been a miner, a seeker of glimmering veins, a quiet soul content with the earth's bounty. His world was rich with discovery, with the promise of unseen depths, until he delved too deep, into a forgotten chamber, humming with an unspeakable dread. A place where not diamonds, but shadows held sway. It wasn't a summoning ritual he witnessed. It was a creation. A grotesque experiment by long-vanished hands, seeking power beyond comprehension. He was not meant to be a component, merely an observer, a trespasser. But the ancient magic, raw and indifferent, consumed him anyway. It was the first time, they believed, a living soul had been forced into the very fabric of their abomination. The first time, a wither was forged. He felt the granular chill of soul sand coalesce around his fading form, the crushing weight of calcified bone merging with his essence. Then, the sickening thrum of arcane energy, a symphony of suffering. 3 skulls, not his own, but alien, empty vessels, slammed into place. And then, the birth, a blinding, deafening explosion of dark power. He ceased to be a he. He became it. He became a fragment, a whisper of a memory, tethered to an engine of pure destruction. He was the silent, screaming core within the Wither's leftmost head, the first victim. Centuries bled into millennia. Time lost all meaning within the Wither's ceaseless existence. It soared through ravaged lands, leaving a trail of black, blighted earth and shattered stone. It tore through vibrant forests, reducing them to skeletal remains. It annihilated villages, their cheerful inhabitants scattering like dust before its dark fury. The trapped soul witnessed it all, an unwilling participant, a passenger in its own torment. It felt the hunger for destruction, the raw, insatiable power that wasn't its own, yet now defined its very being. The Wither, a monstrous puppet, and the soul, its silent, suffering prisoner. It saw other Withers, born of crude mimicry by later, lesser hands, adventurers seeking power, foolishly binding soul sand and bone. Each new monstrosity carried its own silent scream, its own trapped souls, echoing the ancient torment. It was a chorus of agony, a shared prison of bone and dark energy. The victim learned, through sheer agonizing proximity, the Wither's inherent weaknesses, its predictable patterns, its moments of fleeting vulnerability when its dark energy ebbed, just for a breath. A spark, long thought extinguished, flickered within the soul. A thought, agonizingly slow to form, yet potent. Revenge. Not against the world, not against the hapless creatures it was forced to destroy, but against itself, against the very entity that held it captive. Its chance came in a new era, with a new kind of being, one who moved with purpose, who built monuments of ingenuity, and who dared to challenge the ancient evils, the Wanderer. This particular soul shackle watched as the Wanderer traversed the treacherous peaks, mined the deepest chasms, and navigated the fiery depths of the nether. The Wanderer, armed with gleaming tools forged in dragon's fire and enchanted with the whispers of ancient magic, was a force unlike any it had witnessed before. A hunter, a slayer of beasts, a conqueror of dimensions, and, eventually, a challenger of the Wither. The Wither had carved a swathe of desolation through a mountain range, reducing mighty peaks to crumbling dust, turning lush valleys into barren craters. A trail of black, decaying earth led directly to its current hovering form, still pulsating with dark energy, its 3 heads surveying the ruin it had wrought. This was the target. The Wanderer had tracked it, a relentless shadow following the Wither's path of destruction, guided by the very chaos the monstrosity sowed. The Wanderer approached with calculated precision, a silhouette against the perpetual gloom of the Wither's shadow. A flurry of potions preceded the assault. Swiftness to dance around danger, strength to empower strikes, regeneration to mend wounds, and a brew to ward off the insidious Wither effect. That draining, insidious curse. The clash was deafening. The Wither roared, a sound of pure malice, a guttural shriek that vibrated through the very bedrock. It unleashed a barrage of explosive Wither skulls, dark projectiles that carved craters into the shattered landscape. The air itself seemed to shudder, thick with dust and the stench of decay. The trapped soul, deep within the leftmost head, felt the shockwaves of each explosion, the agonizing reverberations of its prison's attacks. But it also felt something else. The focused intent of the Wanderer. A diamond sword, imbued with the sharp kiss of Smite 5, flashed through the air, a beacon of justice in the encroaching darkness. Each strike, though aimed at the Wither's central body, sent tremors through the ancient soul. It was a strange, paradoxical pain. The agony of its prison being destroyed, coupled with the profound, desperate hope of liberation. As the battle raged, a silent struggle unfolded within the Wither itself. The soul, fueled by millennia of festering rage, found a sliver of defiance. During one particularly brutal volley, as the Wither aimed its leftmost head, the one containing the ancient soul, at the retreating Wanderer, a moment of unnatural stillness overcame it. A flicker, a millisecond of hesitation. The Wither skull's trajectory faltered, ever so slightly, missing the Wanderer by a hair's breadth. It was an almost imperceptible tremor, a ghost in the machine, a whisper of sabotage, but it was there. The Wanderer, quick to capitalize on any perceived weakness, noticed the aberrant pause. The Wither, enraged by this internal resistance, turned its full fury towards the Wanderer, but the seed of doubt, the whisper of internal sabotage, had been planted. Each time the leftmost head prepared to fire, the ancient soul fought, not with the strength, but with a sheer, desperate will to not be the instrument of another's destruction, a refusal to inflict the same torment it had endured. The explosive skull would veer slightly, detonate prematurely, or simply lack the usual destructive precision. It was a silent, internal war being waged for the sake of an unknown hero. The Wanderer, now sensing a strange, almost benevolent inconsistency in the Wither's attack patterns, focused their assault. They understood, not consciously perhaps, but their instincts, honed by countless battles, told them that this Wither was different. There was a weakness, an anomaly within its destructive heart. They dodged and weaved, their enchanted shield deflecting the more accurate blasts from the other 2 heads, all while relentlessly targeting the Wither's main body, aiming for the core where the ancient soul struggled. The Wither's dark aura began to falter, its obsidian skin cracking under the relentless onslaught. Its roars grew less powerful, more desperate, tinged now with a primal fear. The trapped soul felt the energy drain, the impending collapse. A surge of exhilaration, sharp and fleeting, pierced through the agony. This was it, the culmination of an eternity of suffering, the promise of an end. With a final, desperate surge of will, as the Wanderer wound up for the killing blow, the ancient soul focused its entire being. It poured all its remaining essence, all its centuries of rage and defiance, into a single, profound act. As the diamond sword, radiating righteous fury, cleaved through the Wither's central body, the ancient soul pushed. It accelerated the Wither's disintegration, amplified the shattering force from within. It wanted the Wither utterly, irrevocably gone. The explosion was magnificent, not a dark, blighted one, but a brilliant, searing burst of pure energy, tearing the Wither apart from the inside out. Shards of obsidian and calcified bones scattered across the ruined landscape, evaporating into motes of light. The air cleared, the perpetual gloom lifting, replaced by the faint, blessed light of the Minecraft sun, illuminating a world that had been saved. And then silence. The Wanderer stood amidst the dust, chest heaving, triumphant. In the center of the devastation, where the Wither had once hovered, lay a single, pulsating Wither star. It shimmered with a faint, almost imperceptible warmth. Unlike any other, it held no malice, no lingering echoes of destruction. Instead, a whisper of profound peace, a quiet hum of release. The ancient soul was no more. Its long torment had ended, not with a whimper, but with a roar of its own, a silent act of rebellion that accelerated its captor's demise. Its revenge was not on the world, nor on the one who delivered the final blow. Its revenge was on the Wither itself. It had broken its chains by tearing its prison apart from within, ensuring that this particular engine of suffering would never torment another. The Wither Star, imbued with that final, defiant act, was not just a trophy. It was a silent testament to a soul that, even in its darkest hour, chose defiance over despair, and found its ultimate peace in the destruction of its own monstrous form. And as the Wanderer picked it up, they felt not the cold dread of a conquered foe, but a strange, quiet satisfaction, as if an ancient wrong had finally been made right.